What is going on, Ground Zero? We are back with another cycle, 2026, already in week 3. Got the admin team back here to talk to you about first few weeks, how the league's going, cycle starting. I got with me Mills, Q, Bellis. How we doing?
What's going
Doing
on, fellas?
dandy.
What's up, GZ?
We're here kind of just to get some content out for you guys, whether you're driving to work, listen to us, or laying in bed, or, you know, I don't know where else you'd be listening to us. Maybe wasting some time at work. That's probably what I'll listen to when we listen to this back. But, just kind of wanted to go over how the gameplay's looking, how the league's looking, give some fun predictions, whether it's division winners, any dark horses, any MVPs. Kind of pull up this graphic here to kind of look over what we're thinking. So yeah, like I said, gameplay, how we think the divisions might shape out based off the first couple weeks, kind of our experiences with some of the people already in the league for a few years, dark horses. Already got a couple good ones in mind. Obviously, week 3, way too early MVP predictions. This is a very, very long shot, so don't take any offense if your guy is not on here. I've already had a couple people doing that, so use it as motivation. And then rivalry talk. So that's a fun segment we're adding here, just to kind of look at some matchups and mostly divisional matchups. You'll see any potential rivalries we think might shape up this year in the league, and just kind of see how those shape out as well. So, Q, I'm going to start with you. You started out 0-2 this year. You're obviously not known for losing that much. Curious to see if you think it's a gameplay thing, if it's a you thing, if it's just kind of how it panned out, like unlucky. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on your first couple games.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like I hadn't really gotten on the game that much to play the first few times I played. Like I was no excuses, but I was out of town for 4 days for a family reunion, and the first game I played ever on the game was against Chuck, and I had no idea they changed the defense.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand my team.
I don't think
So
anyone. I don't think
once
a
I
lot of
had,
people. I don't think a lot of people know they changed the defense because everyone's asking
yeah, so
how to adjust, even offense line and all defense too. Everyone's learning that.
yeah, it was definitely tricky. So once I now have a couple games under my belt, I kind of understand the adjustments and how the game is playing. So I feel a lot more comfortable like in my game against Casey.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a couple people that we're used to seeing have a lot of success. Maybe struggle the first couple of games, but I mean, it's early, man. Like it's 17 game season. You can go 0-3, 0-4, and still win your division. So, like even like Bellis, like you started out 0-2, and you play you play a divisional opponent this week who's also 0-2, and you have another divisional guy who just won his first game. So I mean, you start 0-2, and you're one game back from your division lead. So curious on how your season's panning out so far, in your opinion.
Yeah, I think similar to Q, like my very first time like playing the game itself, like outside of like a practice mode or the training camp was when I played Elroy week 1, and I had no idea how to like move my secondary or anything like that. I saw him do it once and immediately hit him up. I was like, how the hell did you do that? I need to learn these new, controls. But offensively, I thought the first game went well, but I couldn't play any defense. And then played Squid week 2 and played some good defense, but couldn't play offense. So slowly starting to put it together. But I think it's nice to like have like this like competitive balance, and like it's not the same people winning right out the gate. Like I'm sure like he's gonna get used to his team. I'll get used to my team. People are gonna get used to the gameplay, and it's gonna shake out, and you're gonna see some competitiveness down the stretch. But like you see some of these new guys come in and just absolutely dominate right off the stretch, which is a lot of fun. And my division itself is, I think, very competitive. You have Crazy Chase back for another year, Jordan's back for another year. And I guess Chandy's around, but I'm not too worried about him at this point. He won last night. I'd call it a bit luck, but it is what it is.
I feel like a thing that doesn't get like talked about enough is like you're using Anthony Richardson, who's not rated the greatest. Like we're in the early phases where a lot of guys that we're that people are wanting to develop are like very low still. So it's like you got to get the guys up that you want to, whether if it's Anthony Richardson or a running back or a young quarterback. Like I've seen the Steelers guy, new guy, who was using Drew Aller, and he already went back to Aaron Rodgers this week. So um, I'm curious to see some of the development projects that we got going across the league because I thought about going with Cade Klubnik for my quarterback, but I'm just like, I gave up pretty much bag of chips for Matt Stafford, so I'm like, I'll go try and go win now for a year, and then I got 3 firsts, so we'll see if that can land me a good QB. But yeah, should be fun to see.
It's hit or miss for sure. He was good the first game, and not so great the second game. Part of that, obviously, you gotta give credit to Squib. I felt like I was running for my life, so maybe it's skill issue on my part a bit, and like I just gotta be a bit more patient or call up better plays for Anthony Richardson. Like his accuracy's not the best, but he's got an absolute cannon. So it's just about being patient and drawing up the plays that are going to work while your guy's not really the best. Like I'm trying to use Anthony Richardson like he's Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, when in reality he's 71 rated Anthony Richardson.
Well, speaking of good quarterbacks, I'm curious to hear from Rick because you dropped 38, 38, and 42 in your first 3 games, playing like the real life Bengals. Seems like your success on offense has been solid so far. I'm curious on your thoughts on how your team's been going.
Yeah, like I said, I think I do a lot better with pocket passers. So I think last year I kind of struggled with Lamar. It was the accuracy wasn't obviously as much as Joe Burrow, but I was able to run a little bit of a different offense with different like RPOs and option plays and stuff like that. But this year it's kind of back to my bread and butter of just having just like a shifty running back and then a quarterback that can just sit back and throw some delicious dots. So, but yeah, I think definitely I'm gonna have to keep putting up the offensive production I am, just because my defense is not the best. My D line's fantastic, but I think just everywhere else is, not the prettiest. But
yeah, I mean,
think
those run stoppers are huge though because it just takes away the run game so much. It's like you can almost just do 3, 4 guys on the line and
right,
just cover up the middle.
Not even have to worry about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And your corners are pretty fast too, so that's looks like your defense.
It's weird though. Like, my D line, the like rating wise is awesome, but I've noticed that, and I mean, it might just be the level of difficulty of the running backs that I'm facing, but
yeah,
I feel like I've been getting run all over the first 3 weeks, but we'll see. Like I said, I think I'm definitely gonna have to keep putting up points like I've been putting up if I want a chance to win the division. But yeah, everything's pretty smooth so far. No complaints on gameplay or how the game feels and stuff like that. I feel like it feels a lot similar to last year, which is nice because last year's Madden was probably one of the best ones that we've seen in a while. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's probably the best since Madden 21 when we had our 7-season cycle. I think the running game just feels so smooth.
yeah,
I feel like the blocking has been very consistent with like if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's reasonably bad. So I do think the one complaint I've seen consistently is QBs like fumbling a lot when they get sacked. I personally have not had that happen to me yet, but I have seen it probably 5 or 6 times so far in the first few weeks. So I'm curious if that's something they'll look into patching, or if that's something we might have to change. But
I think the elusiveness of like the running backs too, like you're able to shift a lot quicker.
Yeah,
it's almost like a mixture of like some of the more arcadey games that they've released over the past couple of years, but and last year where it really wasn't. I feel like they found like a good medium.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years it was like you had to have good spin or juke moves, and then
right.
Which like you and I who have had good success with run games is like the shiftiness with the stick is like huge.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely like lay off the said, the stick works. It's
But
just
yo,
so much
Noah,
fun to do.
What's up?
we haven't really had the chance to ask you about your success with the Jets yet. I mean, you're
Yeah.
undefeated and you got a roster that's probably not year one ready to compete. Like, what are your first thoughts on your team so far?
My thought process with my team was like, I took the Jets at 5, and I'm like, it's very early, but I love my challenges, so I'm like, the the targets on offense were really what stuck out to me. Garrett Wilson. They drafted Omar Cooper Jr. Adonai Mitchell has like 93, 94 speed. So I'm like, my receiving core, I could probably keep that for the rest of the cycle if I really wanted to. Kenyon Sadiq, the rookie tight end out of Oregon, he's got 91 speed and he's a hidden. So I'm like, I'm pretty much set on offense. Brees Hall's a beast. If I really didn't want Brees Hall, running backs are pretty easy to develop. But the big challenge was quarterback. So, like I said before, I'm like, do I want to start Cade Klubnik? Obviously, I'm not going to start Geno Smith because that's a waste of time. But then Villain, put his quarterbacks on the block, and I'm like, if no one's going to go for Stafford, I might as well see what he's offering. Just because the targets I have, they're going to kind of go to waste if I have no one to throw to him. And he originally offered a first for Stafford. I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving up a first for 1 year of a guy, even if he's 99 overall. But then he said a next year first, and I'm like, what about 2 seconds? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I was like, that was the easiest decision of my life. So now I got a 99 quarterback throwing to these young guys, which hopefully can at least develop them a little bit. And then, I got 3 draft picks next year. So I haven't looked at the quarterback class. I don't know if you guys have either, but
Man, it sounds like you're pretty set, bro. It sounds like you got a good plan.
My offense is set. The defense is where the fun is because my linebackers are all like ass pretty much. I have Demario Davis, who's an X factor, but he's probably going to retire too. So I got to find a replacement for him. But the big young guys on defense I have are like D'Angelo Pons, a rookie. As much as it hurts me that I have 2 rookie guys from Indiana, man, they're very good development pieces. So I got him and I got David Bailey on the line, who was their first round pick last year. So a couple of pieces that basically convinced me to kind of send it with the Jets because I had my Bears last year, so I'm going back to the rebuild. But like I said, I've enjoyed the gameplay a lot.
Hey, I mean, I think you told me this probably one of the first or second years that I joined. I think the biggest thing is like the scheme. Like as long as you know how to scheme around your guys and you understand what they're good at and you can maximize their strengths, you can compete with anybody.
Scheme over team, man. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the thing. Like if you know what plays work, you'll adjust, and for the most part, it doesn't matter who you have. I'd say the quarterback's the biggest part there. So if you can find someone that can consistently throw the ball, yeah, but got to develop a quarterback too. But it's easier to develop a quarterback when you have a good scheme because, even if it means drag routes early on, kind of ease it into deeper routes, and then it's that's just what I've been used to is kind of just trying to get young guys with potential that can fit the plays I like to run. So I've had some success with it. So I'm
Yes, sir.
excited
I love
to
it.
see how this team does so far. But yeah, so let's go into our next one here. Get this picture finally off the screen here. So we're gonna pull up the team draft just to kind of see, or show everyone where everyone picked, who they picked, seeing how they're panning out so far. Any picks that stick out here to you guys? Aside maybe my Jets at 5 were obviously a reach, but the big one to me was the Bills at 25. I was very curious to see who would fall in my division with that powerhouse offense and Josh Allen, and fell to a guy who I've never personally played with before, but he seems like he's having a good start in Gage. Curious to see if there's any picks that stick out to you guys that you're like, how the hell did they fall, or why the hell did they go so early?
Yeah, I think the initial ones for me, obviously, I think the Commanders at 3 were probably a reach too. But, like the Tiger picked the Cardinals at 8, and I think that was a way too early pick too. But I know he is a huge Notre Dame fan, huge Jeremiah Love fan. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see them go that early. And then the last one I'd probably say is Mari getting the Niners at 22. Like that's a stacked roster. So
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets were. I mean, you might say they were a reach. I like you look at the roster, at least like Madden wise. Like I know on the field in real life, like they're a bit of a dumpster fire, but Madden wise, like they look fun, and I think that's like it's kind of nice that you just don't see the top rated teams going off the board like 1 to 10 or whatever. Like it's people sticking to the guns of like how they want to play the game. I mean, there's no shock at the bottom that like the Dolphins and the Saints are there. Um, maybe I don't know. Like maybe you could have seen like the Browns or the Panthers for somebody that wanted to challenge themselves maybe a bit. But yeah, I mean the Niners, Cardinals, Bills, like those are obviously the ones that stand out. But in general, like I don't think there was anything that was too crazy outside of that. The Cardinals one definitely threw me off. It was that was definitely a whoa moment, but it's making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the two that kind of stood out to me were the Ravens and the Chiefs falling to the bottom half. I know that the Chiefs' defense isn't the greatest, but both of those offenses are stacked. So, but yeah,
Yeah, I was surprised Elroy took the Ravens because I know he's a Steelers fan. So that was an interesting one to see. But the Steelers at 32. I'm curious on your guys' thoughts on that because like I'm looking at their roster, like they have three X factors on defense and Cam Hayward, Watt, T.J. Watt, and Jalen Ramsey. Like Alex Highsmith's a superstar. Offense, you got Rico Dowdle and DK's a superstar. Like Drew Aller's a developable quarterback. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was a shocking one. Like especially the guys at the bottom don't really know who's good, so it's like you're not really picking to avoid any divisions. You're just kind of picking who you want at that point. But
Right. Yeah, bro. I mean, if I'm picking 32 and the Steelers fall to me,
I'm
like a kid in a
thrilled.
candy store. You know what I mean? Like, give me that.
Yeah,
Because you're figuring you're going to get the Dolphins or the Saints, and then you land up that defense, it could be way worse. So,
yeah, and obviously our guy who took the Saints didn't work out with them, so we got a new guy there. So who knows if he might have taken someone else? But yeah, I know the division with the Steelers is pretty tough, like team wise, but that team can compete with anyone. It's just old. That's really the big thing is just the age on a lot of the top guys. But they're a win now team, man. Like that D line is insane, and if you can have somewhat of a good offense, like you should make the playoffs with ease.
another thing that might have shocked me too is seeing Nick go back to the NFC North. Like he used to smack him with the Bears all the time, and now he was kind of just like you can't beat him, join him. So
no, I wouldn't say smack. We had good games. I
bro, you were scoring like 60 points on him.
Yeah, but he was scoring a lot too. I probably I won more of the games, but he was good with that Lions team, man. So yeah, I was actually happy he took the Bears because as a Bears fan, I would like to see someone who can run an offense well and compete.
For sure.
So I'm like, I told Nick, I'm like, if you take him, dude, I'll be thrilled because, he can do a lot with that offense, and I miss using that offense so much. But yeah, I was happy to see that. Let me go ahead and switch it up here. I'm gonna switch the layout to the divisions. So, whoops, and kind of give a easier layout to see who took who. So, I know on our agenda was division winner predictions. So, I guess we can just each go one by one if we want. I can go ahead and start and just kind of give my thoughts on early favorites, team that could squeak in, make the playoffs, make some noise. Man, looking at these divisions, there's a lot of competition. This has to be the toughest that this league has been since we've started. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that, but every division has like multiple teams that could win it, and it's hard to choose. Looking at the AFC North, like off the bat, like you got Rick, you got Elroy. Wizard Kelly made the playoffs a couple times last year. Obviously, Hood Baby Drizzy is the Steelers, which we're just hyping up, and he's had a solid start. Is he 2-1 or is he 1-2? I might be wrong, but he doesn't look. He's got Rico Dowdle looking like an MVP candidate, which we'll get into later. But, I mean, Rick and Elroy were in the same division last year, and Rick, did you win the division every year, or did you guys trade?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah. Based off history, I probably have to stay with it, just because you're dropping 40 points a game, and if your defense shows up even a little against any of those guys, I don't see you throwing that division away. Elroy, I definitely see making the playoffs. Probably pick 2 out of that division to make the playoffs year 1. The AFC South, man. The names on that look very, very solid, but they're off to a kind of a sad start. I'm not gonna lie. Bellis, our once 3-in-a-row champ, off to an 0-2 start. Jordan made the Super Bowl last year, which I'll never understand how the hell that happened. But Crazy Chase, consistent playoff guy. Chandy has made the playoffs multiple times. That's another one I probably just have to go off, what I'm used to. I told Bellis early on, like, even when you're 0-2, dude, you might only have to win 9 or 10 games to win that division. And there's no way you don't do that. So I think that division beats up on each other. You might have a couple 9-win teams, but I only see Bellis coming out of that division. AFC East, I mean, I can't bet against myself, but after watching Mac and Gage the first couple of games, man, that's going to be a tough one for me. I'm not going to lie. I knew Mac coming in was a very solid user. Was really hoping he didn't take the Dolphins when they were falling to the bottom there. But I'm going to pick myself to make the playoffs, but there is at least 2 teams coming out of that division. I'm going to say myself and Mac. I'm going to say Gage right on the fringe, but I don't know you well enough to kind of choose. But I'm going to say Mac and myself will come out of the AFC. So what is that one? That's 5. So I got 2 more teams. And AFC West, I think pretty much we'll all agree on this division. I think Jump and Squib are the teams to watch here. Got the 2 top-rated teams. Probably the 2 best players in that division. Whisk got a pretty solid team. We really want to see With succeed in this league. It's hard to pick him till we see it. With, we all believe in you. Seth, another new guy, doesn't have the greatest team to start. So first online league ever. Very below average team. Pretty solid division. And so it'll take him some time to adjust. I could see him competing down the road, but I'm going to take Jump to win the division and Squib to be a wild card team. So my 7 teams will be Mills, Elroy, Bellis, myself, Mac, Jump, and Squib. I think that was 7, right? Yeah, that's 7. But I think it's too early to do a Super Bowl prediction, so I'm going to go ahead and wait. I'll let someone take the NFC because I just talked a lot.
All right, fair enough. And I think you took the words out of my mouth on like the AFC side. Like I think the hardest part for my division is like we're just all gonna beat up on each other.
Yeah.
And 9 wins,
which is fun. It's fun, man. I love that competition. Everyone's competing.
Yeah, it's just what it does is it screws us when it comes to like the wild card.
Right.
I mean, I'm all here for it.
Yep.
And I'm happy to be in it. NFC. Okay. Well, I guess we'll start in the North. The one thing that's nice is like obviously like last year, like I was in there, you were in there, Nick was in there. Like we had
it was a
very
gauntlet.
fun division. I can't remember who the Vikings were. Maybe it was. I can't remember who was the Vikings, but
it was
maybe
I think, yeah.
But it's nice to see that division turn over to like some more good users. And it makes it very tough to choose from. As a Packers fan, I'm going to back my boy Toby and our fellow admin to take the North there. Nick for sure into the wild card. I kind of want to take another one, but I'll come back because I need to figure out what the rest of this NFC is doing.
Right. NFC stack.
I think Q rights the ship. I think he takes the East. Oh my God, there's got to be at least a second one out of here too. This is a gauntlet. This might be, looking around, this might be the toughest division if I'm looking at them all right.
I agree.
This might be the toughest division we have. But give me Q at the top. God, I'd have to pay attention here. What else is going on? Everybody else is pretty much right in the middle of it. I bet Chuck figures it out. I'll take Chuck. You can tell how enthused I am at that moment. Um, in the West, Mari is gonna win that. Villain's gonna get second. Does he get in? Potentially. Casey and Tiger can put up a fight, I think for sure. Um, and the South is an absolute crapshoot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another fun one.
I
That
don't know much. I don't know much about him. I think the NFC South is very similar to the AFC South, where they might all be very similar and beat up on each other, and you only get one in. And I'm gonna back. You know what? Just because his Twitch picture is elite, give me Bergman. I want Bergman to win the South solely so I can get that picture of Shane Gillis over the Tiger Woods meme. So I'll take Bergman for the South, Nick and Toby out of the North, Q and Chuck in the East. Give me give me Mari in the West, and then I'll take a third out of the East just to mix it up, and I'll take God coin flip.
you could make a case for all
give me
four of
Roche.
them.
Yeah, just give me Roshi out of the East. So for those
Dang.
keeping track, I have Q, Chuck, Roshi, Nick, Toby, Bergman, and Mari, just to keep it different. But you can make a case for like 11 or 12 of these guys, maybe even more actually, like 14 of them to like realistically make a case for their own division. But I think that's where we're gonna sit. I'm glad I had to take the harder one.
Cute, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can go next, and I'll kind of go quick and go over the AFC and the NFC. I kind of wrote it down and took some notes to be prepared.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just gonna run down quick. AFC North, I think Ricky Mills got it. Just overall, really good team, very good user. I think he does really well with Joe Burrow. I think Elroy will probably come in second in there. AFC South, I actually got Crazy Chase with the Titans winning. He's such a good user, and he
He's a
did
beast.
so well with the Giants last year. He actually gave me a run for my money when I played him with the Chiefs, and I think he's done well with the Titans so far. I think Bellis will figure it out. Again, he's just got to get his QB situation rolling, but we all know Bellis is a perennial Super Bowl contender, and um, he's just always been in the fight. So I think Bellis will make it as well. AFC West, I want to stick to your point, Noah. I think Jump and Squib, they got the best teams, but overall, they're the better users in the league. And I think Jump wins at year one. Squib will probably win at year two. AFC East, this is probably the most competitive division, in my opinion, in the AFC. I actually have Mac winning it year one, but it's close. I think Noah's right there. Engage is right there, too. I think you can see three teams coming out of there. Um, so I definitely got either Mac or Noah winning it, probably Mac. Um, and then moving on to the NFC side, to be quick, I got Nick winning the NFC North with the Bears year one. Overall, just a very good user. The Bears are ready to go. I like him with Caleb. I think he's really good with mobile quarterbacks, and I think Nate will actually make noise with the Lions. Super good team, and he's always been very calculated with how he does things. So I'm excited to see what he does with the Lions. NFC East, I got to go with myself. I don't remember the last time I missed the playoffs or missed the conference championship game since like Madden 22.
Nice humble
So
brag.
I really want to just like harp on my success in the past, but I got to get it done. I think Oscar and Chuck are right there too. I think Oscar will probably come in second. Chuck has been struggling, and he's kind of like tapped out 3 weeks in. So if I can beat Chuck and kill his spirit, then I can see him spiraling. So I got myself winning the East. NFC South, I got Ocho winning. He's just a good user. The Buccaneers are right there in terms of talent with any other team in the NFC. I like how Kamish has been playing with the Saints though. Like he's definitely a dark horse and a sleeper. He's 2-1 with the Saints roster right now. And he's definitely somebody to watch. Bergman too. And then NFC West, man, like this might be one of the other competitive divisions because Casey's so good and he has his favorite team with the Seahawks. But we all know how good Villain and Mari are as well. I got Villain winning at year one and Mari coming out in second, probably as a wild card team. But I would not sleep on Casey either. Casey's very good. So
Man, you nailed it. Rick, thoughts, man?
All right, I'll make mine relatively short as well. So just listening off. I can think like everybody else said, like you got to back yourself. I'm gonna take
Got to.
myself out of the AFC North, but I think me and Elroy always go back and forth. So I feel like he's. I mean, if I don't win, he'll win, and we'll both get in the playoffs. AFC South. I think you have, two pretty clear, or I mean, maybe even three. But I think, like everybody else has said, I think this is a division that people are gonna beat up on each other, and um, I honestly have no idea who will win. But I only think one of them, just the division winner from the AFC South, will get in the playoffs. Let me see, AFC East. It's kind of hard with some of these divisions too. Just because we have so many new faces in the league this year, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch everybody who has joined this year play it. But like you guys said too, I heard a lot of good things about Mac and Gage. But I'm just gonna go off prior history and back Waltz in that division, just because we've seen him make playoffs every single year. So, and then finally AFC West. Um, It'll be hard to not back Jump, just because Squib's just getting. I mean, Squib does have the Chiefs, but he is just getting back into the game. So, I feel like after season 1, he'll have his feet back on the ground and be a playoff team every year. But I think Jump at least wins year 1, just because I mean he's been so good year in and year out, and that team's really really good too. So, we jump over to the NFC North. I don't know. I before the season even started, I really liked Toby just because of what we've seen out of him in the past couple of Maddens. But he's been getting beat up the first couple of weeks. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I like him or Nick to come out of that division for sure. Even this one, I think too. They'll beat up on each other all year long, and I probably only see 1-2 max coming out of this, at least for the first season. Then NFC South. This is another one too. Like I said before, there's a lot of new people, so I'm not really sure. I haven't gotten a chance to watch all of them play. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say B-Farms. I mean, has a good. I'm not saying he's gonna win, but he has a good shot to at least make playoffs. He's been playing really really well the first 3 weeks. But I think probably Ocho will come out of that division just off of the small sample size that I have these first 3 weeks. NFC East, I like Q for sure, but just trying to think, maybe two, maybe 3 teams in this division make playoffs. I really like Oscar. He's showed us time and time again. He's been playing really well over the past couple of years, and his team's not the greatest, but he's got like a lot of young pieces that I feel like he's really good at developing players. So it'll be fun to watch him with the Giants. I think he makes the playoffs pretty much every season. So that'll be a really, really fun division to watch. And then finally, the NFC West. This is a toss-up too. I think like Q said, Casey with his favorite team. Feel like he'll lock in a little bit more than he has in the previous years. But Villain and Mari are really, really good users too. If I had to say right now, I'd probably say Mari to come out of the NFC West. But those top 2 teams probably go back and forth between Villain and Mari. And I think both of them make playoffs. So a lot of like I said, a lot of new people that I've had a small sample size of watching. So it'll be cool to see how the season plays out.
Yeah, I feel like we all agree on a good chunk of the guys just because we're used to seeing them. But this is as wide open as I can remember. I know we mentioned at the beginning we wanted to go over some dark horses, and we kind of mentioned some along the way. So maybe we each name one from each conference that we're like, maybe doesn't make playoffs now, but someone to look out for in the next couple seasons. Or maybe we could just do for this season. I'm not sure how you guys want to do it. Any thoughts?
Yeah, you can do either or.
Okay. Well, I'll do the first option. So let's pick one player from each conference that probably doesn't make playoffs now, but you think will be a team to look out for next season and seasons to follow.
Why don't you get us rolling then?
I can. AFC. I played Wizard Kelly in the playoffs last year and barely snuck past him. And I think he can make some noise with that Browns team, man. That was my other option for team to choose. They have 2 first-round picks. You kind of have a choice between quarterbacks you want to develop. Not the greatest, but Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. I think he's going with Taylor Green right now, which is who I definitely would have picked because he's the fastest. And why not? No one's going to start Deshaun Watson unless you're trying to win now. But that team is not set to win now. So I'm going to say Wizard Kelly is going to be a guy to watch, maybe even next season if he can make some good picks in this draft. I know he's a skilled guy, so he can definitely make some noise. My NFC team. NFC team, man, it's almost hard to even say some of these guys are dark horses.
Yeah.
Like NFC South, I mean, it's hard to pick one out of there. I think it's too early for that. I'm going to go Roshi. I know Roshi's had some success. He was in GZ a few years ago. Based in that division, man, you probably think he's going to be bottom at the standings. I mean, he's already made some noise. He beat Q. And he's got a good team. And as Q mentioned, Chuck's struggling. Who knows if he'll spiral? I don't think he will. I think he'll figure it out. It's early. But I think Roshi's a team to look out for. I do think the competition is going to be tough for him to make the playoffs this first year, but I don't know, man. I see him making some noise and could surprise people in that division. So those are my 2. Bellis?
Yeah, this is tough.
No repeats.
No, you said Roshi and who again?
Wizard Kelly. Man, do you listen to me? Come on.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
just-
well I was trying.
I'm
I'm
just
literally scrolling through our Neon page right now, trying to keep up with how these first 2 weeks have gone, especially for these newer guys.
Yeah,
because
it's early, so it's any
Yeah.
prediction we make is just there's so much context that can be added to it.
Yeah. I try to catch games as best I can, but like we said earlier, it's only been 2 weeks. It's tough to catch them all. Oh man, who do I want to go with? Because there's 2 routes you could take here, and I think what the route I'm gonna go down is I'm gonna take 2 of the newer guys that we haven't seen before. I'm not gonna take anybody that was in the league last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first one's gonna be Kamish. I think I'm gonna pick Kamish and take that one off the board
Mm-hmm.
because the Saints aren't the best team in the world, but like I said, he's looked like he's he looks like he can play, and you give him a year to figure that roster out, make some moves in the off season, drop some of the dead weight, fill the plug the gaps, and you give him a competitive roster. If he's playing like this right now with that team, who knows what could happen in probably one of the most wide open divisions we could possibly have. So give me Kamish from the NFC side.
Don't forget too, Smith last year, man, won the Super Bowl with the Saints year 1.
Yeah,
so it's possible.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very possible. You can't count him out, but I'm saying wide open division, give him
Right.
a chance. I think Kamish is one for us to watch out for, because also you play with these guys year over year, you understand tendencies, you start to kind of understand their game a bit and how they like to play. And with these new guys, we just don't know anything.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder for any of us to understand how they like to play too. On the AFC side, I'm torn between 2, but I think I'm gonna go with Mac. I think along the similar concept. I think from what I'm understanding, he might have played in like another league that some of us from GZ have played in. So there's people that might know him,
Mm-hmm.
but he's got also one of the worst rosters in the league, and he's being competitive off the jump.
Yeah.
And so again, some more concepts. Give him some time. There's some fun rookies on that team. Give him a chance to develop a roster a bit, and you might be in some trouble out east. So I think between those two new guys with not so great rosters that are playing well to start, and just give them a season to develop the guys they have and plug the gaps with some talent in the offseason and the draft. All right, popcorn, Ricky.
So for the AFC, I think I'm gonna go with Jordan and the Texans.
Mhm.
I don't know. He made a Super Bowl last year, so I feel like knows what it takes to get deep in the playoffs. And then for the NFC, man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Oscar and the Giants. So like I said, he's a seasoned vet in the league, and he's made playoffs a bunch of times. Um, and like I said, he's got a super young team, but I feel like down the road, like I said, he's really good at developing his offenses and his younger players. So I feel like after a season or two, um, if not within the first two, I think he can make a deep run in the NFC.
All right, it's on me.
Finish this off.
Go for it.
All right, I'll finish it off, baby. For the AFC, I got Gage. I think Gage is my
Mhm.
biggest dark horse, and only the reason because like Mac and Noah are so good, and I think they're the top two to finish in that division. But if you get Gage as a wild card with the Bills, like a 6 or a 7 seed, like none of the division winners are going to want to play him. You know, he's got Josh Allen, and Josh Allen himself can win you a game. So
Mhm.
I love Gage. He's a new guy. I brought him in from FML, a league that I played in for some years, and I saw him play a lot in college football. He's really good. So definitely a guy to keep an eye on. For the NFC, I got to go with my boy Casey. You know, like if Casey's locked in and he's really engaged, and also he has his favorite team, I think he can sneak in and make the playoffs. I know the NFC is so competitive right now, and he's not in an easy division with Mari and Villain, with two top teams. They're so competitive, and it's going to be hard to come out on top in there. But if Casey's able to sneak in and make the playoffs, like the Seahawks roster, they won the Super Bowl last year, and he's got weapons. He's got a really good defense. I could see Casey definitely sneaking in and make some noise. So those are my two dark horses for sure.
I like it. I like it. And there's still people on here that we're not even mentioning. Like Prime. Prime's a consistent, like successful player in our league. I think he is probably the favorite to finish fourth in division based off his start and just off what we've seen from the other guys. Like Prime's someone who could very well win another one of these divisions. So it's really crazy to see some of these potential guys that we might not even see make the playoffs. Like Chandy's made the playoffs multiple times, but I mean that division's it can be winnable if he locks in. But I don't know. I hopefully he proves me wrong. If you haven't heard your name mentioned, prove us wrong, man. That's kind of why we're here. It's fun stuff to talk about. We hope some people prove us wrong. We obviously hope some people prove us right, so we look smart. But I'm excited to see how these divisions turn out because anything can happen, man. So while we're in the topic of early season predictions, we're gonna go ahead and switch over to way too early MVP predictions. This list was put together pretty quick and just based off some things we've seen in the first few games. There's going to be some back and forth, because there's lots of players who are starting off well, and just kind of who we got the vibe for, who we think for the long run might make a case for best player in the league for the year. this is in no particular order, so obviously you're going to think I put Brees Hall at 1. Um, but it's just a group we put together, and in based off my success with the run game, I'm hoping Brees Hall can be an MVP candidate. Early on, his stats are looking pretty solid. I don't know him off the top of my head, but Jane Daniels, Q's going to lock in with Jane Daniels this year. He already has so far, and definitely going to make some noise in that division. Is going to be, I think, very, very high scoring games. Not very, maybe not with Chuck. Chuck's pretty solid at defense, but I could see some of those teams getting some high scoring games. So I like Jane Daniels on there. Caleb Williams, Q already said Nick with Caleb is a great combo. It's already showing. I think Nick's 2-1 or is he 3-0? Do you guys know?
No, I think he's 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah, he lost the game for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, I saw he had a kind of a defensive battle with Chuck this week, but Caleb still. I actually have the stats pulled up here now. 717 yards, 8 touchdowns through 3 games. So that's pretty solid pace to put in the MVP conversation. Rico Dowdle, the last name you'd expect on this list, but very solid name. He's the first week he put up 300 yards, and I think week 2 he kind of got shut down a little, but this past week he's put up some pretty good stats too. So he's already making a name. Josh Allen, another one that Q went over. Like if you got Josh Allen, the stats will come pretty much. So very small list. There's so many people we could put in. I threw out the idea of maybe doing a defensive player here and there, or like a wide receiver just to switch up the positions, but you don't see that too much. So curious if you guys agree with this list. I know not all of us put together this list, so just curious on who should be on here, who maybe shouldn't be on here. Rick, I'm gonna start with you because you're the first.
I'm sorry.
No,
My fault.
you good, man. I know Rick was the first one that had a comment about the list, so I know he's had some great success with Joe Burrow to start. Aside from Joe Burrow, is there anyone you can think of, or just your guy because you're selfish?
Yeah, I'm gonna be really selfish here and just say I think Burrow definitely should be on the list, man. I'm gonna be slanging that puppy with him. So, and I agree with all the other names on here. I mean, everybody's gotten off to a relatively hot start on this list. I haven't really been able to watch the Bills, so I don't really know much about Josh Allen, but I've watched / played everybody else on this list, so I think I, for the most part, agree.
I think maybe going forward we could even up this list to like 7 or even 10 people, just because with how competitive the league is, there's going to be. I mean, even the game shows top 10, so maybe just some more to talk about. But I mean, looking at the stats from even this past week, like B-Foms, Bijan Robinson, he's been popping off. That's another name to look out for. And Bergman, man, he's been popping off with Ted McMillan. I don't know if you guys have been watching him at all, but wide receivers don't really win MVPs in Madden in general, but you never know, man. So, Q, since you had something to say, sorry for interrupting, but what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. My bad. But I kind of did put together this list, and I just had to go off of what I've kind of seen myself. I've been watching you play and seeing you ball out. You had a crazy touchdown with Brees Hall, and I think that might have been the only thing that made me want to put him on the list. But but no, just like you've always had guys in the hunt. I think Rick too. Like probably should have put Chase Brown or Burrow on the list too. But I've had pretty good success with my quarterbacks in the past. Like I've won MVP with Russell Wilson on the Falcons. I've won MVP with Lamar. I've won MVP with Pat Mahomes. So I kind of just wanted to just give myself a little bit of confidence and just be like, yeah, just throw Jaden Daniels on there. I've kind of struggled with my record, but I've balled out with him in my last game. I feel like I'll get comfortable with him. And Caleb Williams with Nick, again, like I mentioned before, just a match made in heaven. I think he's good with scrambling quarterbacks, and that team with those receivers, I could really see him doing some really special stuff with that guy. Um, like Rico Dowdell had over 300 yards in his first game, and so he's a guy to watch as well. I don't think the wins will come with it, but he's definitely going to put up the stats. And so Madden kind of just generates the MVP voting based on your numbers and stuff like that, not necessarily the wins. So if he continues to put up some crazy numbers with Dowdle, he's definitely a guy to watch as well. And Gage with Josh Allen, like Gage is 3-0. And if you look at Josh Allen's ratio, I think he before his game against With, he was 5 touchdowns and 1 interception with a bunch of yards. So he's definitely a guy to watch. If he's still undefeated and he's put up those numbers, he could definitely easily win MVP as well. So a lot of other guys that we did not mention, like on the defensive side, and skill position players that Noah mentioned. But again, prove us wrong. Like, go pop off with some guys and go win it, and it'll be exciting to see who actually wins MVP at the end of the year.
Bellis, thoughts?
I'm not sure I have too many.
That's
if
all
I'm
right.
being, if I'm
That's
being,
all right.
if I'm
It's
being
early,
honest
man.
right off the bat,
It's early.
it's for sure going to be like a quarterback or running back. I mean, if Rico Dowdle keeps doing what he's doing, I know, like, just to throw other names out there, like, the Tiger usually runs pretty well. Like, he ran well with Brees Hall last year, and now he's got Jeremiah Love. I'm not saying that's MVP worthy, but,
Mhm.
like, running, like, all it takes is a handful of good games with a running back. But I, I can't argue with the list that's up here. I could probably name 5 to 7 users who could probably get an MVP into this race within
Yeah.
one game. Like, don't sleep on Jump and Bo Nix over the course of the year sort of thing. But outside of that, like, I'm not sure I have too many additional thoughts just because it's only been a couple weeks since making it very tough. I can tell you for damn sure it's not one of my players. So I'm not sniffing this MVP race anytime soon.
Yeah, and I think, like I said before, we can maybe expand the list a little just to kind of get, more options out there, get more acknowledgement of players who are playing at an MVP level. But one note I did think of is I feel like it's really rare we're talking about Rick with an MVP that's not a running back. So hearing him sling the pill like that is kind of fire if you think about it. He's been usually locking in with the running backs on the MVP list. So I do think Joe Burrow will be on the next list, though, if that makes you feel better. It is only week 3, so for anyone that doesn't have a guy on this list, there's 14 weeks left. So you have some time to figure it out and get, not encouraging anyone to stat pad, but lots of time left to get someone's name on this list. All right, let's get into our last one here. So a little fun segment we thought of here for this season. Talk about some rivalries as we kind of gave our predictions for divisions and some fun competitive matchups to look forward to. Just kind of some exciting matchups we're gonna see here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in this cycle. Hopefully more than that. But off the bat here, two of the matchups are from the same division. That shows how stacked that division is. Chuck and Q, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty easy number one. We love seeing their banter in the chat, and we love seeing Chuck after a loss. So, but I agree. All right, I think we all love seeing Chuck after a win like that he had over Q2. So you kind of get both ends of the stick there. So I enjoy watching them go back and forth on it. I think Q will take matchup number 2 there and give him a nice split on the air. But Oscar and Roshi, I mean, I think Oscar brought Roshi into the league if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one in itself right there. Another similar situation, Jump brought Squibb into the league. So now they're in the same division with 2 very stacked teams. Mills and Elroy, another one we saw last year carrying over. Nick and Toby, Bears Packers. I mean, you can't leave Bears Packers off, especially when they're 2 very good users. Toby's got his own team. Villain and Mari, two more powerhouses, man. that division's also pretty stacked with teams in general. So Prime and myself, that was a fun one that we kind of started off with the team draft, and but I think that could change very quick with how that division's set up. And same with the last one, Bellis and Crazy Chase. I mean, those are kind of the two favorites for that division. So we figured there's going to be some good matchups between them going forward. And the fun one, NFC South, the unpredictable NFC South. Anything can happen in that one. We've determined we couldn't pick just two out of that. You're listening to our division predictions, you can probably realize that I think we each picked someone different to win that division. So excited to see what rivalries could come out of that one. But is there any matchups on here you guys look forward to specific, or maybe even like some that aren't on here that we're missing?
I can go ahead. I think obviously the top one is one that we all love watching, and not just the gameplay, but the aftermath of all the matchups are always hilarious. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one. I mean, they're all great. I think some bias too. I love playing Elroy because it seems like we trade a bunch, so it's always fun playing him, especially since we were in the same division last year too. So.
Yeah, I can go next, and obviously, like me and Chuck probably are the most, if not the, like we're so outspoken, and we're not afraid to back down and talk smack to each other. So, we've had a lot of history over the years playing each other. That's my guy, but I'm trying to kick his ass every single time we play. So, he got my number, and I was so hot when I first played. I was like, dude, I have to get in the lab. I have to get better because if he continues to beat me, like I will not hear the end of it. So he gets up when he plays me, which is good for the league. You know, he loves to talk smack and tag me and do all the other antics and stuff, which is fine. But I'm on his ass the rest of the cycle. Oscar and Roshi too, all of them. I'm coming for you. But the one that really sticks out to me too is Villain and Mari. Like Villain is probably another one of the guys that's really outspoken and just kind of different, and Mari is too. Like they're so different in their own ways, but they're both so competitive. And I have history knowing them from other leagues too. But I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. And then also Nick and Toby. Like if Toby figures it out with the Packers, I know he's been struggling trying to figure out his O line and what he's doing with Jordan Love. But like if Toby figures it out, like he's going to be right in the race too, and he's going to give Nick a run for his money. So I think those are like the top 3 or 4 rivalries that stick out to me that I think we can really pay attention to, and it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think the Chuck Q one just because it carries over into the chat and always provides some some good back and forth. I always think
A
of
lot of
the
spillage.
oh yeah, for sure. Obviously, like, I think that was just like impossible to ignore. I think uh like you have Squid and Jump, like some longevity in the league and some history there. That's always I think they're just two fun users to watch, and so just to highlight that one, especially because just with the way it feels like their division will shake out, that will probably carry a little bit more meaning to it in terms of like who's winning that division. I think there's always going to be something a little more on the line compared to maybe some of these other ones where there's things that could help and happen elsewhere to win your division. I think with like mine at the bottom, like you could have done exactly the same thing that you guys did for the NFC South here, and it can
Yeah.
interchange left, right, and center. Jordan's been to a Super Bowl, like you said. Chandy's got longevity in this league. Like we like to pick on him a bit, but he's been around. Like he knows how to play the game. Like he finds his way into the postseason somehow, some way, every single year. Um, but I think there's just it's basically one big block of 4 teams into a rivalry just because we'll beat up on each other enough. But there's some good ones top to bottom. Obviously, Toby and Nick, I'm always going to be excited for too because that's another one, two good users. But that's the one thing that's super nice, like you said at the top. Like there's a lot of competitiveness in this league. It's probably about as competitive as we've ever seen it, and it makes it almost impossible to say, oh, there's only one or two real rivalries or like one or two real good matchups. Like you're gonna find all these a couple times a year, and then you're gonna find additional matchups every single week. That's gonna make it easy to pinpoint games of the week and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and one thing I do find kind of funny, like comparing to Chuck and Q to like Squib and Jump. Like Chuck and Q, you know, the banter's there. Jump and Squib is like going to be the most respectful rivalry you'll ever see, where there's like zero shit talk and the nicest conversations ever. Like back when, you know, I was the Giants and Jump was the Eagles, man, that was one of the funnest like division mates I've ever had, just because we would always be going at it and just like no shit talk, just like we're just having fun. But at the same time, I love the shit talk, man. You know, I think it's fun. I think it's great for like viewership, you know, for the streams, and it's just fun for the league to kind of watch from afar, you know, especially Chuck, who loves to chirp at everyone, which I did make a point, you know, maybe a week or two back, that Chuck chirps the most at the people he struggles to beat the most, which I respect a lot. He did beat Q, so props to him. I don't know if he will again, but you know, enjoy it while you can. But yeah, these are some fun matchups to look forward to, and yeah, I agree, Bellis. I think your division is pretty much the same as the NFC South. I think you could put any names there, and it's like, oh, that's a pretty good matchup. That could be fun. But I do think you and Crazy Chase are probably, like I said, the favorites. So that I think that's going to be that could be the matchup to watch this year, like when you're looking for that final playoff spot from your division. But yeah, I mean,
You know what's crazy? I also think you and Mac will be fun to watch too. Like that's going to be a really cool rivalry. You two with like two of the more lower tier
yeah,
teams that
yep, I agree.
will probably be the better players in the league. Like I wanted to throw you guys on this list too, but there's just not much history there.
Hmm.
But this cycle, I think you guys will have some fireworks for sure.
Yeah, and you know, as same as like the other graphics we've gone through, like this will probably be updated. You know, there's going to be some that might appear out of nowhere as the season goes on. You know, the smallest thing can turn into like a random argument that'll spark something. You know, you never know what it'll be, whether it's a rule break or, you know, just a blowout or something. So, next time we're, you know, whether it's us or someone else on a pod, we'll have some updated graphics for MVP rivalries. Maybe not rivalries just yet. Maybe that'll be like a per season thing, or I don't know. We'll have some more content for sure. Hopefully, we get a league stream out here soon, because it's definitely going to be due here soon. But we definitely want to get people kind of locked into their games first before we show them off in front of the league. But I mean, that's all we really got for this one, as we just passed the hour mark, so it definitely didn't feel like it. That zoomed by, man. But I think that's all I got. You know, we'll probably post this on our YouTube channel. You'll probably see this on our YouTube channel as you're listening, because it's not anything yet. But I will leave it to you guys for any final thoughts. I think I'm pretty good on. We've covered pretty much everything we can for 3 weeks of Madden. But we'll definitely have some more stuff here out in the near future.
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, I'm really excited for this cycle, and I want to welcome all of the new faces and new users that joined us. We really do appreciate you guys being a part of our league. Again, like if you have any questions or any concerns or anything like that, please just reach out to us in your one-on-one or DM us. We want to help you guys make this experience so enjoyable and fun. So I'm really looking forward to this cycle and competing against all of you, and let's do it. Let's have fun.
I guess I'll have to follow up. He's excellent comment there. But I mean, just to kind of like echo it, like keep scheduling your games, like keep putting your live links in that channel there, so we can all tune in and watch. Like it's a lot of fun to not only play these games, but get a chance to like watch some of them play. And you know, looking forward to having all these new users come be part of GZ, and you know, stick around for the long haul and see how far we can take this thing in 2026/27.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight too. Awesome to see a lot of new faces around this cycle. Hopefully, it seems like we have a really good core for this year, and I feel like you know, we can take this thing multiple seasons. So just thank you guys for joining us, and really excited for the cycle. So let's get to it.
For sure. Another thing I want to emphasize is don't be afraid to use like the helplines. I feel like no one ever really uses them. We want to hear feedback, especially when it comes to like stuff like this. Like, what do you guys want to hear or see? Whether it's something on a podcast, a segment we can do, some maybe poll we can put out on Twitter. We want to do whatever it takes to put out content because it's fun and it keeps the league invested. And so give us ideas, man. There's more things we could definitely talk about. Like, it took us an hour to talk about 3 weeks of the Madden League. So you give us ideas, we're gonna make something cool out of it. So don't hesitate to send us anything you think would be cool. We're definitely gonna push to get some more graphics out on the Twitter, and keep the Neon page updated with stats. So, but yeah, that's all I got. One more shout out to Q for the amazing name of the Ground and Pound podcast. I was locked in on that as soon as you said that. I thought that was very fire. Because, it fits the ground zero. So I like
Yes,
that. The graphic looks fire. Shout out ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think we got to give Prime a shout out.
Yeah.
He made some fire graphics too.
Prime came up clutch with the graphics, so thank you. And we'll definitely have some more out, but I think we'll go ahead and end on that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the admins for stopping in, taking an hour of their time. And we'll see you guys in the next one.